Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do some honest reflections of my journey so far on YouTube. So let's crack on. My name's Lucy. I make videos about leadership and try and help people to be happy at work. I believe that we spend so much of our lives at work, roughly a third of our lives at work, and lots of people aren't that happy. So my channel is all about finding happiness in your work, whatever you do. 2 months ago today, I pressed upload on my very first YouTube video. I'd been mulling about starting to create and upload and share my thoughts for about 6 months, since the beginning of the year. It's 2025. Every morning I do a little bit of yoga, most mornings anyway. Do a bit of yoga, and I watch that on YouTube, on the television, and YouTube serves me up other content that it thinks I might like. So I was watching people's gardens, people's allotments, people wilding their garden, people renovating homes, and I started to think maybe I could do videos too. Maybe I could share what I've learned or share stories about my own garden. I've got a beautiful garden. And so that's where the thought began. And it took me pretty much 6 months to actually get going and start uploading. And I decided I would share content about what I know, which is about leadership and is about working with people, helping teams work together better. That's what I do in my day-to-day work, and I am not short of ideas. I've got lists and lists of ideas for future content. But today's video is a bit of an update about my reflections really on what it's been like as a 57-year-old new YouTuber, putting her ideas out into the world, editing content and all of that jazz. And I'm really pleased actually with how it's going. I've got 21 brilliant subscribers, so thank you to every single one of you. And I get really interested comments and feedback, and people have started suggesting future topics. So my next video is going to be about a topic that someone has suggested to me, so that's exciting. And yeah, it's a real adventure, and I've started making connections all around the world with other YouTubers, and that's the main thing for me. This is about connection. It's not, I don't want to, well, be really fun to be famous, maybe, I don't know. But it is about connection, and it is about a mission to make people's work lives happier. Other reflections, I get really irritated by people spamming my email inbox. I don't publish, my email address isn't public on my channel, but people can find it through the links on via my website, I think. So people send in pictures of my channel with, zero SEO and all of that nonsense. Now, I know that my search optimization is good because that's how people have been finding my content, and so I've got limited time for these spammers, and I'm not going to pay you $100 to give me the advice that I could get from vidIQ. So no, thank you. I'm enjoying the process. I really enjoy thinking of the ideas, coming up with scripts, doing the filming, doing the editing. I love the editing. I wish I had more time to do editing. And I wish I had more time to do more creative filming than talking heads, which is what I've been doing so far. But I am starting to introduce more interesting content, I hope. So that's really, really fun. I know a lot of YouTubers find it nerve-wracking, and I guess I did to start with, but then I remembered in my past life I was a politician. I was a local politician, and I used to do a lot of local campaigning, and in fact I was a parliamentary candidate as well in the general election here in 2019, and the world of politics is quite full on. It's quite quite febrile, and as part of campaigning, you knock on doors of complete strangers. And I've got very used to doing that and actually quite enjoy it. And so I thought putting a YouTube video out into the world has some parallels with knocking on the door of a complete stranger, but isn't, the connection isn't direct in that way. So I figured out that there's nothing to be nervous about if you've knocked hundreds or if not thousands of doors in your time and had many interesting conversations and many different responses on the doorsteps, then there's nothing to be scared of, for me anyway, about making YouTube content. There's interesting feedback out there about whether you share the fact that you're making YouTube videos with your friends and family. I decided not to. I decided to go literally cold turkey, ground zero, no subscribers when I started my channel. I do have another channel that has got 96 subscribers from some concert videos that I've put out there that people have enjoyed, but clearly I've got copyright claims on those because they are, it's not my copyright, it's films I've made at concerts of people's music. So I didn't really want to muddle the two. So I started the brand new channel, which means that it's slow growth, 2 months, 21 subscribers. I guess some people might think that's too slow and terrible. But for me, the engagement is growing, and I can see week on week the steady growth in views. I've shared I think 3, maybe 4 shorts, and I think it's about 12 long form now. I'm trying to do at least 4 a month of the long form and have a regular posting, so that my main form is long form regularly once a week, so I can stick to that rhythm. But I am interested in short form because I've done a lot on Instagram. I've made a lot of reels. I used to do that when I was doing political campaigning. I have quite a lot of fun with that. So playing around with the 2 forms is something interesting. So the short forms I've created to date are ones I was putting out on Instagram anyway. But the problem is you get many, many more views. You get some subscribers because of the more views on short form, but then it sort of muddles up your stats when you're looking at your analytics. So I'm not sure if that's a good way to go. And there is a school of thought that short form viewers are completely different people to long form, but yeah, I guess that's true. So it's, yes, I'm a bit on the fence, but what I am thinking of doing is repurposing long form content into short form, and so that the short form can kind of act as a gateway into the longer form. So if somebody's interested in a topic, then maybe they'll click on the long form version. My most viewed video to date has been about bullying at work and toxic behaviour, sadly. And I thought, but that's now plateaued, that's stopped. So I thought maybe if I clip out a couple of good moments from that one, and maybe that'll reinvigorate that topic, because obviously it does as a topic, it resonates. And it was, I think, my 3rd video that I published. So and so I had very few subscribers at that point, and so to have it, I suddenly got all these views. So I think it's worth revitalising. So I'm going to have a think about that. Oh yes, and going back to sharing with friends and family. So I thought, I did talk to a friend about the fact I was dreaming about doing a YouTube channel. And so once I'd done a few, I thought, well, I'll share one with her, which I thought she might be interested in. Didn't go so well. The main comment I got was kind of random about the quality of the video, which of course is going to be, not as good and polished as other people. So I do think it is weird. Like if you share it with someone you really care about and they give you slightly off the wall, or they'll either give you really flattering feedback, I think, or they'll try and be helpful. And so I'm a bit, I'm not sure. So I'm sticking with, at the moment, keeping it to the just YouTube natural growth that's happening through YouTube. But I do a weekly newsletter about my work. So I think I will maybe start sharing my videos in there, because that's a related audience. What else? Yeah, I'm trying to get more systematic. I'm quite busy with my day job and the rest of my work, so trying to do filming in batches and get more systematic about when I'm sort of planning ahead with content creation. So I'm working on that. And I think I've been really clear about my target audience from the start. I think spending those months thinking about who would watch my videos. And essentially it's sort of younger me, working in the charity sector, managing a big team, managing a lot of stress, sometimes not that happy at work, with a lot going on, a lot of spinning plates. And so I figured if I kind of think about that's my audience, then that's who I sort of keep in mind what would be useful to people that manage staff, or people that are looking for a new job, or people that are experiencing bullying, those things that happen. So my most recent video is about imposter syndrome, for example, which many people experience. So I've tried to be useful and think about who these are aimed at rather than thinking about me, which is why I've done less of these self-reflective, how is Lucy doing on YouTube type things. But if people are interested in these, then let me know, because obviously I can do more of this and take you on the journey with me. And I think the other thing about my topic is that I did try to think about topics that would have life for a long time, that idea of evergreen content that people might be looking at in a year or what have you. So that's another part of the thinking. And then the other piece that I did later on, it took me a while to get going with this, was to make sure I've got all of the content in a playlist and referring to that playlist in my next videos, so that people can click on and carry on watching. So the content, because it hangs together around a theme, then that kind of makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm up to. So this is me, 25th of August, started out 25th of June, and I'll do some analytics, some logging my numbers at the end of every month. So I'll do that at the end of this month. But I think August has been quite good for me. I have seen some growth, and it's been fun, which is the main thing. So wishing everybody a great day, and there's a lot of shit in this world, and the other mission of my channel is to try and bring a bit of positivity. So from me to you, my lovely viewers, a bit of positivity out there. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. And if you are enjoying my content and you get anything out of it, then please don't forget to like and subscribe. That would be really brilliant. Thank you so much.